Hello, I'm Tio. This is the Living Workshop. It is Tuesday, May 6th, and I made a goof video yesterday and sent it out online, so maybe there's random people watching now. So, either way, if you are, this is the Living Workshop. I'm Tio. And what we do at the morning meetings is we do three things we're grateful for. I talk about something interesting. Usually it's something that I'm working on. And then either I'll go through the stuff that I did the day before, say I'll explain how that goes, and then talk about what I got planned for today. And then I always try and see if I can make it short. But if you watch this, I tend to be long-winded. So anyway, okay. So today we're at 1 minute. We're good. We're good. We're good. We got cool stuff to show you. So we're just gonna move on here. So three things I'm grateful for. Grateful for tea. Tacos. Yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. I didn't have any tacos or any tequila, but the tequila would have been one, but I didn't have it anyway. Okay, tacos and tamarindo, Costa Rica. If you noticed, I tried to just do a thread there, so it was tea, tacos, tamarindo. So I've been to Tamarindo a while ago, so it is a cool place. It's also an alliteration. So that is three things that I am grateful for. Now, let's show something interesting so that you understand why you're continuously watching this. It's not just me telling you stuff that I'm doing. I'm also trying to show you a bunch of interesting things. So it also relates to what stuff we're doing. So what do we have here? What we have here that we're currently showing is we have some, that's not chestnut, transfer one. We have some reishi that is colonizing this substrate here. So this was just extra substrate that I had from the Reishi Alchemist kit bags, kind of like these that I was making up more of those, and I had some extra material. Actually, what I had to do is I had to pour some of the substrate material out of the bags that I got because the bags I got were smaller than they were supposed to be. They're not this one. They're different ones. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. But I should order those longer ones. So order longer bags. Aren't you so glad that you're sitting here watching this right now? Anyways, okay. So what ends up happening is there is these that you can see actually here. This is the grain spawn, and the grain is filled with mycelium. It's bursting almost. And so that's what it's doing now. So it's bursting out and it is filling up this substrate, which is just hardwood sawdust. And this one's just regular master mixed. So it's not. I was doing experiments with beet pellets, but this is just soy. So it's 50% hardwood pellets, 50% soy hull. Some are saying you don't need as much soy hull, but that is what the general master is. So that thing's just chilling there. I thought that was kind of cool. You can check that out. Another view of some mycelium running is right here. So these ones we took from agar. So this is like the beginning process. So what you do is you get something on agar, and you get that culture growing out. I have a couple of them over there, but I'm not going to bring them in because you're not going to be able to see them. I just don't want to get up. It's pretty much what it is. And you take that agar. Well, I can do it right here. Excuse me. And the agar just goes. That's the agar culture. I'll actually bring it close to you so you can kind of see it. It's trying to be educational. So you can see right here. So it's coming off that agar plate, or off the agar, and it's growing into this grain. So that's what we want. That's pretty good. This thing, I only did this a couple days ago, 3 days ago. That's good. So it'll get there. I'll let that go a little bit longer. And then I want to get all this stuff down more into that grain jar because it needs to hit more. There needs to be more points that it's hitting, points of contact. That agar is only growing in one dimension, meaning that it's like very, very thin. It's not in that agar at all. It sits and grows on top of it. So something that some people sometimes you don't realize. So you got to get that, and you got to get it so that now we have little points. You can see that is where the tiny agar started, and then now we're getting this. So at this point, I'll mix these up. So I'll just mix these up now to show you kind of how I do it. I'll just whack it with my hand. I should have like a mallet because I shouldn't keep whacking that part of my hand. I do that too much. This one, same thing. It's already pretty good. I probably could have done this yesterday, but it doesn't matter too much. Because right now what we're trying to do is we're just trying to get essentially that grain that has mycelium on it all distributed around in here so that it's more evenly distributed. So ideally it'd be like, oh, there's one piece of mycelium grain touching another piece that's not, and then you'll get it to grow. It'll start growing much, much quicker once there's all those different points and nodes. So, oh geez, 6 minutes explaining stuff. Okay, cool. Well, that's fine because that's interesting. That's interesting stuff. Then what do we have here? What we have here are some microgreens that we grew. We grew them downstairs. Just did. We were doing them originally with a cocoa core mat that was kind of like almost like hard pressed together, and that worked great for the first couple times we were doing it. But we wanted to do coconut core. It was like the cocoa core block. So you end up put water in there and it hydrates and it blows up into nice material. So we wanted to get onto that to use that because that's more versatile in all these different systems. I can put that in my I can put that in my worm bin. I can put that. I think I talked about this the other day. I can put it in my compost. I could grow mushrooms with it. I can use it to supplement stuff. Whereas that mat was pretty much just kind of like one dimensional. So I have that over in my compost pile now. I just have them like hanging up. I want to see how long they take to kind of like decompose or do whatever. Maybe there's another purpose for them. But yeah, so this went really great. This went really, really great. This is the broccoli. This is the radish. Radish is a little bit, it's like a little bitter somehow, but it's also spicy. So I think kind of got to figure that out. But what I thought was interesting here is this whole thing, all this was dry. So I've been trying to let these dry out so I could harvest them dry, not wet, so that then they can go into the clamshell dry, so they'll last longer. But I was worried because I was going to harvest them last night, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. It's too late at night. So I'll wait until the morning, but I didn't want them to dry out. So I put water down on the bottom, down in these corners, and let it run through and fill through. But now it's wet up here. I don't know if you can see that. That's wet up there. So it's kind of interesting how that happened. I don't know whether or not if they like respirated that out or what, but I thought that was interesting. So I figured I'd bring it up and show you these. So we're starting to scale up, doing more of the microgreens now that we've got it kind of figured out. We might end up trying to mix in some Pro Mix potentially. See if we can see what this supposed to taste like. We're also going to try and get different microgreens, figure out like what the mixes are that people like to eat and all that jazz. So, okay, I'm at 9 minutes. But yeah, so that's it. So the microgreens are super easy. Super easy. You literally just buy the microgreens. You literally just buy a box of cocoa core, and hydrate it. Put it in one of these containers, or a container. Doesn't really necessarily matter. It doesn't have to be these ones. These ones are kind of nice. And then you just lay the seeds over. I soak the seeds overnight, and then I drain them, and then I put them over there. I don't have like a little droppy thing. I kind of just squeegee them out. Squeegee is not the right word. And then press them, weighted down. We start doing that. Helps them bed down into that medium, and then do that for one day, and then one day lift that off, and then you lift that off. Leave them covered without light for a day. You might not have to do that, but we did that. We did trying that, and then take them off, and then they just kind of run, and you'll see them. They'll start yellow, and then they just turn green, and then they do this. So pretty cool, pretty easy, and low cost in terms of inputs and electrical resources and all that sort of jazz, and you get a bunch of highly nutritious microgreens. So it's good. It's good. Okay, we're at 11 minutes. Okay, all right. But those are the interesting things. So you learned about some mycelium. You learned about some microgreens. Today, I already did my writing. This is the video. We've got some reading to do. Still working on not using the interwebs. I did kind of slip up, like I said, this weekend a little bit, but it was the weekend, so I gave myself some free time. And honestly, today I was looking at something online, and I got sucked into looking at other stuff, and then I'm looking at Instagram on my phone, and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So, not that bad, but being aware. So I've got to do a bunch of computer work because it's really crummy outside. I got to fill out the Levitate form again. I got emailed back from them. They didn't get it, so I got to rewrite that nice little thing that I had written up. I got that fungi submission for Brooklyn. I should probably work on the website for the Rhode Island Mycological Society so that I can have something up that's there. I just don't like doing websites. I don't like doing websites. So I got to order those long bags. We just found that out today while we were just talking right here. I've got some work I got to do down in the basement, aka the lab, and where I grow the lion's manes. Fun fact, my basement is humid enough to just grow them without me having to have any sort of humidity set up. I have a whole setup that I built. I literally just don't need it. I don't really need it. It's pretty interesting, kind of cool. Probably not the greatest for maybe the foundation. I'm not sure, but we can work around that. We can figure that out. It'd be cool to have a passive mushroom farm in the basement. Be actually really cool, and the fact that it happens in my basement is pretty synchronistic or kishmit or whatever. Okay, all right, we're at 13 minutes. We are good. That is what we're doing today. So computer stuff. I'm gonna get this computer stuff done because it's really quite poor outside. So I can't. Oh shit! Excuse me. That's what we did yesterday. Yesterday, we spent the day working on the chicken coop. We have our 8 chickens. They got to go outside because they don't want to hang inside anymore. And we don't want them to hang out inside anymore. So, had the morning meeting with Jen, or the weekly meeting with Jen, to figure out what we're going to do with the chicken coop, how she wants it to kind of designed, what her ideas are, what my ideas are. We worked through it. We got it all cleaned out. We moved the run in the existing chicken coop away from where it was to give us enough space. We have it all cleared out, and we did a lot of cleaning back over there, so that was nice. It was unexpected because we thought it was going to rain yesterday. It didn't, so we did all that stuff. And then we went to go celebrate the celebration. Oh, not celebration of life. I mean, no, not that. Two very nice people got married. So we went and ate pizza with them. So that was it. That's it. That's all we got. Cool. Hopefully this was enjoyable or at least entertaining. Hopefully you maybe learned something. Hopefully maybe now you're thinking of something interesting you're grateful for. Maybe you're bit tamarindo. Maybe you want to grow microgreens. Maybe you want to grow mushrooms just so that you can whack the mushroom jar and make it do cool stuff like I just did. Maybe you want to turn wooden bowls and mushrooms with oak logs. Maybe you want to grow a reishi mushroom and then tincture it yourself and become a little reishi alchemist. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know myself. This is the game of life. So, that being said, I have been rambling too long, and I'm going to press this button. And again, I got to get this figured out where I do this a little bit before the end, because it takes a couple seconds in order for this thing to link back up. And then if not, I end up looking like an idiot when I go and say, catch you later, and it doesn't do it. But let's see if it works. So, catch you later. Enjoy your day. Be grateful for life. Or not, whatever. But it's easier if you are. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Enjoy the day.